Hello and welcome to AWZ News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. In recent months, David Rush has been widely reported in the media due to his reputation for making world-shaking announcements. This has happened twice, and he has now made a horrifying assertion. For those who may have missed it, join us as we bring you all the facts David has revealed and how it alters everything we've ever been told about aliens, UFOs, and their relationship with humanity. NASA is concealing something about the aliens that no one was anticipating. When David Grush revealed a wealth of material that had been kept under wraps, he first became well known. David Grush is a highly respected veteran who gained notoriety for his work in Afghanistan and his prior roles in the Air Force intelligence sector. He held important positions in prestigious organizations such as the National Reconnaissance Office and the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. From 2019 to 2021, Grush represented the NRO to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. Subsequently, he assumed the role of co-leading UAP analysis at the NGA and continued to represent the NRO to the task force until July 2022. On June 5, 2023. Even though David Grush suffered a great deal of suspicion and hostility after disclosing this information, he persisted in stating the truth about his assertions that the US government was involved in a covert UFO program. David has conducted interviews with his former colleagues who possess first-hand knowledge of the alien technology being kept secret from the public. He has a lot to say, and he has made it clear that the government has been investigating UAPs. They exist, no doubt about it. However, because he received an Air Force scholarship to study physics, he did not immediately conclude that the strange aircraft originated from another planet. He said that since we don't have all the information to determine where they are from, they may be anyone, they are just unidentifiable. This individual, however, has a different theory. He proposed that these hidden Pentagon G vehicles could not be from distant planets, but rather could be from a place existing in a higher dimension, possibly even here on Earth, but in a different way that we can't see. Speaking of which, if you've ever wanted to see space and the galaxies in your room, check out the link in our description. He talked about extra dimensions in science, such as what we learned from smashing particles together. What makes David's claims even more shocking is that the US government might not be the only ones involved in this whole thing. There are others who know exactly what's going on and why. Grush said the earliest UFO case he learned about happened in 1933 in Italy. He claimed that the government of Mussolini, the leader at the time, kept the downed vehicle in storage until close to the end of World War II. According to him, Popa, THTH secretly communicated about the object's existence to the United States, and the US supposedly got hold of it in 1944 or 1945. Ever since, it's been in the US and might still be studied to find out more about an alien species. This makes sense too. If a government possesses or encounters a technology beyond current human capabilities, they might keep it secret to study and potentially reverse engineer it. This knowledge could lead to advancements in military or aerospace technology, providing a tactical edge in conflicts or defense strategies, which is what the US government has always strived towards. Plus, if you think about it, governments may also conceal information about unusual phenomena to quell public speculation or prevent competitors from developing countermeasures. Classifying information also ensures that adversaries do not obtain insights into a nation's capabilities. Therefore, they would prefer to keep it to themselves. Controlling the narrative helps panic avoid potential destabilization brought on by citizens' uncertainty or fear. For them, it makes more sense to withhold some information from the public in order to maintain the status quo uninterrupted. But does that really make things better? Perhaps if the threat is greater than we had previously realized. Things are much scarier than they initially appear to be. Grush reported speaking with intelligence officials who allegedly described seeing massive UFOs tracked by the US military. The alleged UFOs were of staggering proportions, roughly the size of a football field. That is much bigger than we've ever thought it was before. David has emphasized that these accounts weren't just hearsay, but rather the testimonies of people with reliable backgrounds in intelligence circles. Although he was initially skeptical, he was intrigued by the seeming certainty and sincerity with which these personnel described their encounters. His focus on excluding common explanations, such as swamp gas, ball lightning, St. Elmo fire, or other natural occurrences, implies that these sightings were not explained by common atmospheric or meteorological events. Grush suggested that these were not merely speculative sightings, but rather tangible and organized crafts that defied easy classification, so these are real stories, not just theories. People have seen and interacted with these enormous UAPs, and they didn't want their experiences to remain untold, no matter how hard the government tries to keep them hidden. This raises an important question: where exactly are these UAPs? Well, Davids has the answer to that as well. He claimed that there is a covert government program that retrieves UFOs, but he hasn't publicly acknowledged it. According to him, the government has occasionally been in control of unidentified objects or the evidence related to them, and certain defense contractors have been tasked with analyzing the evidence. He didn't name the specific companies or government agencies involved at the same time, but he voiced concerns about the setup, highlighting a lack of transparency and moral dilemmas. Gru contended that the government's agreement with these defense contractors might lead to a scenario in which private organizations could produce unique insights obtained from examining the UFO evidence and then sell them back to the government for profit. This, he claimed, raises moral questions regarding his soul. Through government contracts, the source agreement effectively monopolizes access to potentially groundbreaking knowledge and profits from it. Grush promoted more access to this purported proof, arguing that sharing such discoveries with academia and the commercial sector may encourage more chances for study. Allowing more organizations to investigate and evaluate the data for the greater good of scientific understanding and advancement, but that's where the issue arises if what he's saying is accurate and has always been people have made great sacrifices to maintain the status quo. Grush stated that he was unable to publicly discuss whether UFOs had caused harm due to classified operations, but he did mention that he had been informed about malevolent events in which humans were allegedly injured, but that didn't mean that no one had ever attempted to come out and speak against these occurrences. It's just that they've never made it onto mainstream news. He claimed that officials he interviewed disclosed disturbing information about ongoing cover-ups, including accounts of killings carried out over the years to conceal these operations, so it's possible that all of this information would have been public years ago, but those that tried to get it out there didn't make it out of the whole situation themselves. There have been other witnesses though, those who've come out alongside David and their stories just add to this whole thing. One of the main people here is David Fravor, a former Navy commander who has also told his story where he saw a strange object in the sky while on a training mission in 2004. There's also Ryan Graves, a retired Navy pilot who also ended up being the one who founded Americans for Safe Aerospace. This is a UAP nonprofit, claimed that he saw UAP off the Atlantic coast every day. For at least a couple years the sightings were not rare or isolated and were being witnessed by military aircrews and commercial pilots whose lives depend on accurate identification. Graves said UAP objects had been detected essentially where all Navy operations are being conducted across the world. When asked if there were any common characteristics to the WAPs that different pilots had seen, Graves says sightings were primarily of dark gray or black cubes inside of a clear sphere where the apex or tips of the cube were touching the inside of the sphere, so not the traditional UAP you'd think of, but clearly something that we don't usually have floating around in the sky. But it's the detail where they've said that all of these things keep happening around Navy sites is what's really concerning here. It means that the Navy is most likely in on everything that's going on. They've probably been keeping an eye on the projects and might even be leading some of them. That means that they've got a considerable hand in all of the cover-ups too. This goes beyond what the Navy force of a country is supposed to do. With all of this comes another question: what else are the authorities doing that they haven't told us? Will they always decide what the public can and can't handle, or could there ever be a time where receiving information from them as it happens? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos similar to this, and we'll see you in the following one.